stay this way. Jesus, there's freedom in your name. You break every chain, oh Lord. 'Cause you are above every.
All right, welcome to the Warriors Way UCAN Studios. I'm here with my buddy Ernesto. Say hi.
What's up, man?
All right, hi. We're going to get to him in just a minute. He is from Flint City Church, and if you want to check out his website while we're talking, it is flintcitychurch.com. And if you want to get a hold of them, they have a phone number of 810-288-6387, and they're hanging out at the West Court Church downtown.
Yeah, right on Court Street.
All right, perfect. So if this is your first time to the Warriors Way, we interview someone in our community who is helping people help people. And you can go to spiritualwarfareunit.com. And if you're struggling, you click on the three lines to the right, hit struggling, go down there. And if you need baby food, baby formula, clothes, housing, drug rehabilitation, DUI lawyers, something is there for everybody. And if you are doing good, but you know somebody that's struggling and needs help, you can send them there and you can be the person that helps them out on the way. All right. So Ernesto Alaniz. So am I saying that right?
Alaniz.
Alaniz.
Close.
I did it wrong on purpose.
It's allowed, man.
I do it so you can say it correctly.
Right.
All right. I'm like Charles Barkley that way.
Thank you, man.
All right. So you've been doing Flint City Church now for how long?
6 years.
6? Dude, it feels so much longer than that. Wow.
Telling you, man.
All right. So I want to get his story. You got a great story. So where were you born?
I was born down in Corpus Christi, Texas.
Man, been there. Hot. Mexican food, spectacular.
It's the best in the
Now,
world,
how many miles is that to the border? It's super, like under 100, right?
For Corpus, I think you're about 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
I was a kid, so it's hard to remember. Because I moved up here when I was like 2 years old.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't have much time in Texas.
I had to go work down in San Antonio, so that's the only reason I know.
Okay.
Right? And seeing how small the Alamo was, and the whole city's built around it.
It's awesome.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that gives you a whole new perspective. If you haven't gone, the river walk and all that.
It's awesome,
right?
dude.
It's totally, like your restaurant has an elevator that opens up right to the river walkway, and you can fall in. It's only like 3 feet, allegedly. And, so, all right. So you were from Corpus Christi, Texas, and you moved up here when you were 2. Why was that?
Well, my mom was married to a guy, and he was a musician.
Okay.
And he lived that lifestyle.
Explains
you know what I'm saying? He lived that like that's my brother has it. Both my brothers got musical talent. It skipped me. I don't know what happened. But
recessive genes,
I'm
right?
telling you.
You just got the good looks and charm.
At least whatever. But stinking shoot, my mom told him one day it's either the life with the boys, the drinking, the drugs, or the family.
Yeah.
And he wanted the other life.
Right.
And so my mom had to come back to her mom, which is up here in Flint. So my brother was, man, like 4 days, he was 7 days old, got on a Greyhound bus in Corpus, took 2 days to get back to Flint.
Yeah.
By the time we got back up here, I was 2, he was 7 days old. By the time we got back up to Flint, he had double pneumonia, spent his first few weeks here in Flint at Hurley.
Wow.
Wrecked his lungs, has asthma to this day because of how sick he was as a little baby.
Yeah.
But that's how we got to Flint. We came from Texas.
Now, where in Flint did you move to? Like exactly? Was it
man, I was so
downtown,
little.
North side? Don't remember.
Thing is, I think we were like Leith, Franklin.
Oh, okay.
Like right over there. So that's east side.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'd kind of come further towards Center Road, but a lot of times we'd be toward the river. And when you're towards the river, it was rowdy in the 80s. It's rowdy today. Man.
Yeah, it was. So
like
I grew up on Stewart and DuPont.
Okay,
so, yeah, and people are like, "Yeah, you're white," and I'm like, "Yeah." Listen, like when I talk down in the jail, like the guys in there, like, "Whoa!" And I'm like,
dude,
"Yeah, I got hammered."
I grew up, Wyoming. It was
Wyoming.
It was poor white over there.
Yeah.
Like, the east side's really weird like that. It's very poor white, and we were there.
Well, there's a lot of Mexican down there. They got the old Cobras and all that. Down
yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, there was more than there are now. Like, there's no Latinos now.
Oh,
like,
really?
Dude, it's weird how few Mexicans are in the city. Like, there's no more Mexican markets in the city. When I was a kid, there was like 4 of them.
That's crazy.
But so we ended up in Flint, and this is where we.
So did you bounce? Like, did you bounce?
Man, we bounced all. I don't know where I lived most of my life. I try to act like my mom's like talking about those days, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I remember there's trailer parks I lived in growing up.
Yeah.
And they're all gone.
Like what my mom would do, she would like pay Knowing she couldn't pay.
Yes.
And hold on to it as long as she could and then move to the next one and like try to save so she get that 6 months.
Listen, I remember we'd leave in like the middle of the night from a place.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just thought, I didn't know why as a kid. I'm just like, this is so crazy. We're
Right.
moving again. And now I know, oh shoot, we probably owed somebody some money.
Yeah, yeah.
And we had to bail.
Yeah, see, my mom, she struggled with drug addiction. So like when she couldn't trade them food stamps, you know what I'm saying? That child support had to be worked for that. And that was just, and she wasn't a bad person. My mom was actually a very loving, musically oriented person. And she could take a piece of garbage and turn it into something beautiful. Like she should have been an interior decorator, like I swear. So I'm feeling you on that one. So, all right. So you were like me. You were just kind of traveling.
Dude, listen, different schools.
Yeah.
All the time.
Always the new kid.
Always just got to fight.
Always.
And I was, it's weird. Even though I was in Flint, I was a scared kid. I was kind of soft at first, because I just tried my head down. I don't want to be noticed.
Yeah.
All I knew is I don't want to be the bottom kid.
Yeah.
If I can get like 3-4 from the bottom, I'm fine. Like long as a couple schools I was the bottom kid, and that just your life's miserable when you're the bottom kid.
No, you know what I would do? I would find out whoever the bully was, and I'd go pick a fight with him.
Man,
because even if I lost, he'd leave me alone.
I got there eventually, but at first I was soft, dude.
Yeah.
But we went to Whittier. You got to get strong.
Yeah, you can't.
Because they'll eat you there, dude.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
that's awesome.
I moved up. I mean, me and my brother had been in schools the whole time.
So how long did that go? Like your whole childhood? Or
like the way it would work is we'd be moving around Flint, and my mom's been married a few times, so she'd marry someone, and sometimes we'd marry a guy, and we'd leave to where he lived. So one time we moved to the UP. I lived in the UP for 2 years.
You were a Uper.
Straight up, dude.
Learned how to play euchre and
all of it, dude. Listened to Upers.
Yeah.
It was.
Hey, how are you today?
Fell in love with the McKenzie brothers. But Steakin, we were up there for 2 years, but we'd always come back to Flint.
So you were almost a yuck. Almost.
Dude, we'd go up there for Rudyard for 2 years and right back to Flint. And so Flint was kind of home.
Yeah.
But again, life was very unstable in that we would go do this thing with somebody, it wouldn't play, back to Flint, restart your life. And that was just the way it was.
So do you think like growing up that way, like helped you be able to deal with like social engagements because you're just used to being the new guy? Because I found that to be a real thing for me. That I was like, I'm just so used to like walking in and hey, how are you? And you got to play that role, right?
Right.
And I found that after a while, once I stopped pretending, it's just like, this is the dude I am, and like you're gonna like it or not like it, and those are the two options. I found that to be very good, but I had to break that pretend chameleon, be what they wanted you to be personality.
I mean, I wish I was that strong. I think for me, the moving, it made me retreat into myself.
Really?
I was
introverted.
At first, I was scared. Dude, I was scared of the world, man. Yeah. I loved coming home with my mom, my brothers. I loved home.
Yeah.
And I loved some of our friends we play with in the neighborhood,
Yeah.
But school, I go to school, and like, dude, literally a few years ago, I was at Flint City, and a guy came to church, and after church, he's like, hey, I know you, don't I? I'm like, I don't know who you are.
Maybe.
He's like, I knew you at Whittier. I'm like, that's impossible.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, you usually sit in the back with your head down every day, didn't you? And I was like, it freaked me out that someone knew me from then. Because I literally try to stay off the radar. I'm like, I just don't want to get my head kicked in by somebody.
Right. So what's the ages that you're going through this? Like
from from 2 to 14.
Okay.
It's here in the city.
Yeah.
And I'm just keeping my head down. I'm scared of the world, scared of my own shadow, very insecure, very there's some joy with my mom.
Yeah.
But those years are very few and far between. There's always guys around,
Now, did you like struggle with food and all that too?
Because of, honestly, food stamps and food banks kept us alive.
Yeah.
Like even though I was embarrassed to use that crap, like I don't like
it's better than starving, bro.
I'm telling you, like going to the food
that's
bank.
called Velveeta cheese now. You know
Straight
that, right?
up. Dude, that's what it is.
That's it.
Like
those sandwiches were solid.
Dude, government raisins, still the best raisins in America. I don't know where.
And that cornflake, you could take milk for 3 days, man. That's crispy.
But powdered milk sucks. They give us that big old box of powdered milk.
So bad.
To this day, I won't drink skimmed milk.
Me neither.
I'm like, that's poor man's milk.
Yeah, because they were just making that and it's
like If I have my way, I do whole milk because I want to chew my milk,
Right.
just so I know I'm not a poor kid no more.
Right.
It's why I don't like what do you call that? Generic brands. Like for me,
For sure.
it knocks me back to being
For sure.
a kid. I like buying.
Like I need Fruit Loops. I can't have
Exactly.
colored candy
I
loops.
can't buy all these loops.
That's right.
I got to buy.
I got to
Fruit
have Honey Nut
Loops.
Cheerios. I'll pay the extra $1.39.
And
Isn't that weird?
You feel things from your childhood that are still in you.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to feel poor. And
Like
that's
you know the thing that was like I'm never gonna feel this way again.
exactly.
So like I went to a Christian school, right? And so I got my first polo shirt. It was this yellow,
Nice.
nice one. You know, polo was it back in the day, Ralph.
Oh,
Lauren,
dude.
right? I think they're making a comeback now, right? Anyway, so I walk into school and I'm like, you know, and this kid's like, "Oh, nice shirt." And I'm like, "Thanks, man." He's like, "Yeah, that's the one I donated so the poor kids could feel cool." And I was like, "Oh, dude, it crushed
That's
me."
brutal.
Oh, it was all right because when we hit an all-nighter, I got my payback came back, but that one hurt because I mean the girls you like are laughing.
Oh, yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Woo. And it was just like, okay, that's cool. So I went through that same kind of thing, and so all right, so you did that till 14. Now, where did you go to high school, or did you go?
So I went Whittier up to all the way to middle school, and
Yeah.
then my mom got us out of the city.
Okay.
My mom, I mean, she kind of, I think, saved our lives, dude, because
Probably.
it came a point where I was getting tired of being pushed around. I was starting to fight back. I was starting to stand up, but you can't stand alone on the streets.
Yeah.
You got to have someone backing you.
Yeah.
And as a young Latin American kid who's angry, I mean, there's people recruiting.
Yeah.
And
Cobras would have been
I'm
right
telling
there,
you,
man.
right there.
Yep.
And I had some cousins, so it was like on the edge of like just being lost.
Right.
But my mom got us out. We ended up in Waterford, Michigan. Suburbs, dude.
Wow.
I got.
Wow. Smell you, bro.
I'm telling you. I remember we moved there the very end of summer.
Yeah.
And so started the school year. We moved in, and the school was like 2 days later. I ended up going to this new school. I don't know anybody.
And their school's huge, so you can be invisible.
Yeah, well, I ended up getting jumped like the first week of school. Because I came in thinking I'm a Flint kid. I'm tough as nails.
Let me show you.
I thought I was going to reinvent myself as this tough kid.
Yeah.
And
I was wrong.
and the thing is, everyone's they grew up together.
Yeah.
Waterford's a close knit, and also so I'm a brown kid in a white world.
So what happened?
In
They
Flint,
stomped
I
on
was
you?
a brown kid in a black world.
Yeah.
So it's weird. I've always been kind of outside the culture.
Yeah.
But I got jumped in Waterford, and it wasn't that bad. Like the kids pushed me around, got spit on,
Yeah.
made fun of me. Then
Push you
left,
down.
and I was like, "Oh,
That's it?
I can deal with
Right.
this." Like in Flint, you're coming home bloody, dude.
Oh yeah, no shoes.
Oh, dude, you're coming.
yeah.
In Flint, you don't fall. You try to hold up and don't fall.
Yeah, and while you're running, get one, and then keep running. Like if you can get one, you're getting kicked, and you're like you just focus on that one person.
It's Halo in real life, dude. Run and gun, dude. But so I got jumped, and
I tell these stories to people like, guys, that's not true. I'm like, who makes that up?
dude, you can't. So Waterford, but what's crazy is like I jumped, but it wasn't bad. And then when I realized it wasn't bad, I realized like I don't got to go here and be afraid of fighting all the time.
Yeah, so you
Like-
can actually live.
Right, it was weird actually like starting to read the books and like pay attention in school that tension of insanity wasn't always on you.
That is a perfect time to take our break so we can get back into that. If you're not gone to Spiritual Warfare Unit on YouTube, like, share, and subscribe. Check us out. If you need some help or are struggling, go to spiritualwarfareunit.com. Click on the 3 lines on the right screen. Hit struggling. Go down and see what you can do. We will be right back. Taking a quick break from our podcast. I wanted to let you know about our life application program that we have for churches and nonprofits in the area that are trying to find programming that they can use in case the corona shuts you down and you're not able to get in. You go to spiritualwarfareunit.com. You click on our episodes and you can check out our programs for as little as $29.99 a month to make sure that we're still getting the word out to those people that need it. Now,
Start a
back
piece
to the
of crap.
program. Want to make sure that was a turn that went forward, right? All right, welcome back to the Warrior's Way. Our warrior this week is Ernesto from Flint City Church. We were just talking about us growing up, so you shifted from being a young, scared kid to being able to start to survive a little bit. And
Man, it was a thing, dude.
In Waterford, which is a very high-end suburb.
Oh,
in
very
Michigan.
affluent, a lot of
money. in
middle
there.
class, upper middle class.
Upper middle, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So, all right, so when you didn't have to survive, you actually like, oh, oh, I can learn.
So at first, I go there. I'm being a bully. I'm pushing kids around, trying to assert some kind of dominance.
Set your flag.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then, in the midst of all of that, like soul searching, and also I'd go home and things at home weren't great.
Yeah.
I stayed home. I'd stayed away from home as much as I could as a young man. And in the midst of all that, a kid I bullied at school told me about Jesus. And so I don't say
no kidding.
Wasn't looking for it. Didn't care about it.
Just walked in.
Wasn't on the radar. Like I'm as Latino, we're Catholic.
Yeah.
But we're not, we're the worst kind of Catholics. We're the kind who never, ever go to church.
Oh, you're like Easter and Christmas Catholics?
Not even, man. We're like
you're a meant to?
every other Christmas Catholic that we are.
Right.
My grandma would bring us to midnight mass once in a while, but that was it,
Okay.
My brother and I went to catechism for 2 sessions at St. Mary's on Franklin.
Yeah.
And the nuns kicked us out. They don't ever come back. Like we were just, it was
when nuns are kicking you out, and they got defenses. They got rulers, and yardsticks, and they'll be.
My mom pulled up and we're in the alley waiting for her, and she was just like,
what did you get booted out for?
I don't remember. But I remember they told us not to come back. It's a week.
Dude, you had to do something pretty bad.
I guess, man. So the church was not a church. God, Jesus was not part of the equation.
They don't like us, and we don't like them.
And so this kid tells me about Jesus.
Yeah.
I used to bully this kid in incest. This poor kid went to puberty real late. So we're in 9th grade, whatever. And this kid, he's still prepubescent. So this poor kid, I just murdered this kid all the time. And I was big, I was strong, so I was just mean.
Yeah.
And one day I was in lunch, and in Flint, everyone has free lunch.
Yep.
In Waterford, you pay for your lunch, and if you're a free lunch kid, you got to go with your tray.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You got to say your name, and they cross your name off a list.
Yeah.
And that's like really embarrassing.
Yeah.
Somewhere I was lying one day, and I'm going through the thing, and there's a girl behind me, and I think she's kind of cute. And I'm like, I don't want this girl to know I need free lunch. I've got $2. That means I can't pay my lunch.
Yeah.
So we're going through and I get to the front lady, the lunch lady, and I just freeze. Like, what do I do? And she's like, $2. And I'm like, she's like, or name. And I was like, and all of a sudden, this kid I used to bully just leans forward and goes, I got him. And so I walk away, and I'm like, that was weird. After school, I knew how he walked home, so I waited for him on the way home. I asked him, I said, what do you want from me?
Yeah.
Like, do you want a week for, no beatings? You want me to beat someone else up? What do you want for your money?
Yeah.
And he told me, he said, once upon a time I had a debt I could not pay. And so I wanted to pay that forward.
No kidding.
And I'm like, well, who paid for your lunch? And he's like, I was a sinner, and Jesus died for my sins.
How old are you this time? 14?
I'm 14.
Wow.
And I was like...
And this kid's 14?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, get out of my face. I just walked away like, I don't want to hear this.
Yeah.
I don't need this.
Yeah.
You're a nerd.
All right.
But dude, something, I don't know what it was. It was like a worm got in my brain.
Yeah. Set the seed, man.
I'm telling you.
So how long was it before then and you got saved? Like how long was the process?
A week later, I walked home with the kid, and I wanted to be near it. Like, why would he be nice? So I go to his house. I meet his family.
It's freaking you out. He liked you.
Like, I'm just. Why you respond to me when I'm so brutal to you?
Yeah.
Is it like just because you want me to? Like, is it? Are you kissing my booty? Get me to stop? What is happening?
Yeah.
But it wasn't based out of fear. It was out of true affection.
Yeah.
So I went and met his family, and he must have told his family, this Mexican guy is always bullying me.
Yeah.
And they didn't treat me like a jerk. They welcomed me to their home. It was just weird, dude.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah, you were wondering why they liked you.
And so
you're like, when does this pop?
And also going to their house, like, it's a healthy family.
Yeah.
No one's screwing at each other. There's not domestic violence happening. I'm like,
Wait, you can't yell at each other?
It was wild, dude. I didn't know. Like, so I started hanging out with them and just watching. It was like watching a TV show.
Yeah.
I'm
like Leave
what?
It to Beaver, right?
To me, it was.
Yeah.
I'm like, and so then they invite me to church. And I go with them on a Sunday, and we had to go to like a youth room instead of like the big church.
Yeah.
I think it was like a Wednesday night thing. So we go into the youth room, and there's a band playing, and they played this song called Step by Step by Rich Mullins. The first song I've heard, it was a Christian song. I remember sitting in the back listening to the lyrics, and people were singing it out loud. And I'm like, who says stuff like this?
Yeah.
I'm going to follow you
Yeah.
all of my life.
So is
I
that
trust
when you like got saved? Like,
Well, I went to church for a year.
Okay.
I sat in the back because I was afraid it was all a lie.
Yeah.
I was afraid.
You're
there's
waiting
something.
for the shoe
yes.
drop, man.
I'm telling. I'm like,
Yeah.
there's got to be an angle.
Well,
someone's
that
playing.
makes sense because your whole life you're moving all the time, and you're like, this falls eventually. Like, where's the button?
Right. I mean, and friends leave. They'll betray you because you're not cool anymore.
Yep.
I'm like, everybody leaves. Everyone betrays you.
Yep.
Where's the drop?
Yep. Never came.
And it didn't come. And some of the kids some of the youth group kids were pieces of crap, dude.
Yeah, of course.
They're like the churchy people.
Yeah, they're
kids.
the ones that gave you the yellow polo shirt guys.
Dude. Well, they would I'd go to Bible study, hear them talk.
Yeah.
And they talk about just how they love Jesus and how they didn't swear or smoke. They talk about how good they were, and I knew them at school, and it was all a lie.
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe it's all fake. Like these guys are fake.
Yeah.
But then I'd go there and people seemed real. And I'm
all
like,
right, so when's the moment, man? Like
were
you 15, 16?
Probably end of 14, close to my birthday. I'm in a field, man. I think I'm in a field walking home. I sit at a picnic table and I bow my head.
That was it.
And I'm like, I remember it was not a very good prayer.
I would freaking hope not.
At the time I had read through the book of Matthew already.
Yeah.
I had bought a children's Bible and read that. Like
Were you
just
blubbery?
A picture.
I was blubbery, dude.
What?
I was blubbery.
I was. So everyone's different. So I remember about my head. I'm like, okay, God, they tell me you love sinners. If you'll have me, like I'm yours forever.
Right.
I just want like someone to want me. Like, like, will you welcome me into your family? Cause I need somebody.
Yeah.
And I remember I prayed and I like had my head down and nothing happened.
Right.
Like I thought it was going to be like,
some magic thing.
Yeah. Like thunder or like Jesus, he got baptized and the words came down from heaven.
Yeah. There's no dove.
Nothing. And so I'm looking around and I'm kind of ticked, dude.
Yeah. You're like, I knew it.
Exactly. Like they got me.
Yeah.
And I was mad, dude.
Yeah.
And so I went out with the boys that weekend and I came home after being out all night. My mom was mad at me. We're fighting. And I cursed at her, called her some names. And she started crying, left the room. And usually if she cried and left the room, I won that fight. Now I'd be like, I showed her because there's a punk kid. What do you know?
Yeah.
Well, she left the room all upset.
And you felt bad.
Terrible. And at school, I was being a jerk to the kid that told me about Jesus because he's like, I'm like, it's your fault. I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm treating him like crap. You know what's happened. I was his boy yesterday. Now I'm treating like crap on Monday. And I go to my next class and I feel terrible about that. And then I'm sitting there going, what is going on with me? Why do I feel these conflicting emotions within myself? And then I realized, the preacher said how when you ask Jesus to come into your heart, like he like convicts you of sin and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shoot.
Yeah.
I asked him to come in and he's in there.
Yeah.
And he's like pushing things around and messing up my stuff. And I'm like, I think something's happening. And sure enough, over time, that started growing and maturing. And I've been with him ever since.
So how did that affect the rest of your high school? Like from 14 to 17?
My gosh, dude.
What happened? Like, what'd you end up doing? Did you get away from your boys and like get into like...
Well, I didn't have a lot of friends at first. I didn't have a lot of friends. And so that one kid who told me about Jesus, I started hanging out with his crew. Yeah. And my crew became all people who love Jesus. And not only love Jesus, but... So
you weeded them out then?
Yeah, like I didn't have a lot of friends, man. I wasn't never a cool kid, dude.
Oh no, I hear you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. So it wasn't like a long process with friends. It was like I'm going this direction, and the two guys that are with me are either coming or not coming.
And so we start running, and dude, it was a good few years. Like I remember when I came forward the next week at church. I did altar calls at the old church I went to, and I wanted to go forward because I was a Christian now. So I went forward, man. I prayed. I'd already said it in the field, but I wanted to do it on a Sunday too.
So everybody knew. Yeah,
it's just for myself. I want to go to that altar and I want to bow down, and I want to. In my mind, the altar was like holy, so I want to make it real over there. The field not holy.
Yeah, the corn wasn't holy.
That's right. So I go down, and this lady at church asked me, she's like, I saw you go to the altar. I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, we need help in Awana with kindergartners.
There it goes.
And I'm like, listen, I don't know this stuff. Like Awana, like the kids memorize. I don't know verses of the Bible. I don't know the Bible. Yeah. I'm like 2 days old in this. Right. And she's like, well, come and help. So I started coming helping every Wednesday there.
What they have you doing? Just watching?
I would sit with these kindergartners. They'd read me the verses. They would memorize verses and like repeat them back to me.
Yeah.
So I had this little kindergarten paper book And I'm going home learning the verses they're
they're
learning every
teaching
week.
you.
Yeah, so we're all together, like John 3:16. We're all learning it, and it was great for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's those kids that were in my kindergarten class. I still know a lot of them.
That's crazy. So you did that through your whole high school?
Dude, I served. For me, church became this place. It was like
Like a refuge, huh?
It was, man. I on my bike 5 miles at church often, and I served for kids. I served in nursery, served in bus ministry. If there was a need, I tried to serve. And I was also working. I had to work a job because I tried to make money. But I loved serving. And for me, it was just a way of, I was so grateful that God received me.
Yeah.
I just wanted to, there was just unbridled joy flowing out of me.
He gave you value, right?
Man,
and
it was
purpose.
It felt good to be loved. It felt good to be known. I was just a happy
to be wanted, right?
Like all the joy, it just joy poured out of me, dude.
All right, so you did this. What years is it? What year did you graduate high school?
98. This is 94 to 98 high school years.
94, 98. All right. So you graduated from high. Did you graduate from Waterford?
Waterford Mott. But I did something very, very unwise in these 4 years. I didn't mean to. I almost pretended the first 14 years didn't happen. This is my new life, my new Christian people. The rest of it, I'm gonna ignore that this happened. I'm gonna ignore the violence and the poverty and the sadness because I'm a new creature, which is true, but doesn't mean that it didn't leave a mark.
Yeah, and sometimes marks are dents. You know what I'm saying?
Because the preacher will always say things like, "You're a new person," and I thought, I'm gonna pretend it didn't happen, and that crap did happen.
So that was like an active choice that you made.
I was like, I'm going to just close my eyes and deny.
So you're on that fake dude guy.
Yes.
Oh, no.
And I didn't know it was happening. I just wanted only the good. I wanted these people's good lives.
Yeah.
That the middle class, suburban, joyous. I wanted it so bad. I was going to pretend I am from you and of you and with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to deny where I came from.
Wow.
And it ended up blowing my life up. It ended up catching me in college, and I mean, it's just destroyed me.
All right, before you get into that, I got to take a break right here. This is a perfect spot. If you haven't gone to flintcitychurch.com and checked out what he's doing, please go and do that. Like, share, and subscribe on Spiritual Warfare Unit, and we will be right back.
I'm really impressed with the teachings that Isaac has been bringing to us, as this is all based from Proverbs.
I like it because it's simple, and it doesn't matter who you are. It's very easy to understand and apply to your life.
You know, it points out, you know, my bad parts, and you know, but it's showing me how to do the good parts, and you know, I'm trying to apply that and you know, make a better life for myself because I'm tired of where I've been.
It's impacted a lot of the guys as they continue to talk and ask questions after the meetings, as they speak to one another regarding the meeting and the messages and the topics that are being brought up, which are down-to-earth topics of situations and things that we live with on a day-to-day basis.
He takes the Bible and he breaks it down into simple terms and where you can understand. And like I said before, sometimes a lot of churches, even the Salvation Army, sometimes we start using these big words that people don't understand, like even saying someone got saved. Well, what does that mean? What does it mean when you say someone got saved? And it's accepting Jesus into your heart. So it's like words like that we use that people don't understand.
It's just very interesting how he points out, you know, the different things of, you know, the sin part, and then he comes back with the, you know, how to make it better, and he just points it out. It's there. You know, I didn't know all this stuff was in there, but now that he's pointing it out, it's like, wow, you know, I guess if you really dig into the Bible, you find these things.
This is a daily moral standards that we can live by, that the teachings are coming from. And honestly, we can take verse by verse as what he's done, and pretty much he's done the hard work for us and now laying it out so that we have an easier understanding.
There's some people who don't like to be in Bible classes, but this one seems to get their attention.
All right, welcome back to the Warrior's Way. Our warrior this week from Flint City Church is Ernesto, and you were just getting in from high school to college, so it's 98.
98, I graduate, and God called me to ministry. So I ended up going to Moody Bible Institute in Chicago.
All right, hold on. Before we get into this, we're in our third section. This is called our gem session. Now, you remember I asked for a couple of funny stories.
Okay.
So what do you got for us?
Okay. So I'm in school in Chicago, me and the guys, and there was this place, Chicago, out in the suburbs.
At Moody.
Okay. There was this place, if you go there and eat 5 hot wings and not vomit, they'd pay you $500.
Hold on. The goal was to not vomit?
The food, the wings were so hot, either you wouldn't finish them or you'd throw them up. Like I guess it was so violent to the body, you couldn't eat them.
No kidding.
So we were like, we're going to go there. It's like $30 for 5 wings, but if you eat them and don't explode,
and if you need some money,
I'm saying we need money. So we thought we could beat it.
Yeah.
We knew there's probably some spice that would actually make
you vomit.
It was physically almost impossible to do it.
Yeah.
But we can make our bodies obey us.
Yeah.
So we thought we had to do a test run of mind over matter.
All right.
So we thought we've heard that the human body cannot drink a gallon of milk and hold it down for an hour.
Yeah.
So we decide we'll do this as our practice run and then do the wings.
Yeah.
So we all go out and buy vitamin D whole milk.
Yeah.
Me and 3 of the brothers.
Because we already discussed it's not skim.
It's not skim, it's whole milk. And dude, everyone came to we had this community bathroom at college. And so we had like 20 guys in there, and we sit down and people are taking bets on who's going to blow up first. Because it's impossible to drink a gallon of milk and not throw it up.
Dude, and the smell of that.
We started. And at first it's great because I like milk. I drink milk. But you start drinking milk, I didn't realize a gallon of water is easy. But milk is curdling and creating gas in your stomach.
Yeah.
So as you're drinking, the guys are so stupid. They're turning the showers on hot. So it's like people like the sauna in the bathroom, trying to get to curdle faster. The guys are jerks, dude. So the goal was to drink the whole gallon of milk and keep it down for 5 minutes. And then you win. 5 minutes.
And you win what?
Awesomeness? I don't know.
There's nothing.
There's nothing.
I'm just the coolest non-vomit guy.
Exactly. And the goal is you pass this test, then we go get the chicken wings and pass that test.
Worthy of the wings.
Yes, $500. We'll get the wings after.
Gotcha.
So there's 3 of us guys doing this. The first guy he got almost the whole thing down. And he probably had a quarter of the gallon left.
Yeah.
And he got up, walked over to the urinals. Around the course, I couldn't see him, but I heard him just lose it. Because that milk is creating pressure in your stomach. Second guy next to me, he gets a little past a quarter, small guy. So you can see his stomach is you can see it pushing out of him because he's no shirt on. He just takes a drink of his glass, leans forward, and when he throws up, you got to lay down at his feet, full 6 feet, not a drop would have hit you. It was projectile. The pressure in the body shot it out of this kid.
It was like pop.
Boom! And he sat back. Looked like I'm not drinking his milk. I'm like, you're out, you're done. So I was the last guy standing.
All right.
I had, they poured out the last of the gallon, so it was like 4 cups left, 4 glasses left, but it hurts.
Oh, yeah.
I feel it, and the thing is, this is a true thing about me, I hate throwing up. I hate it. My family all got the norovirus recently.
Yeah.
And I got it too. Or I'll get food poisoning or something. And if I throw it up, I'll feel better. I know I will.
Yeah.
But I will hold it down and I'll fight it for for hours. Just my body does not, I hate throwing up. So I get down to having 2 glasses left. And I just can't. Your mouth, think about milk,
I just trying to shut up right now.
I just can't. And I'm there and I'm and I feel it growing in me. It hurts. So I go, so I give up and everyone loses. I go to the shower and I'm holding the shower thing. And one of my good buddies is scratching my back. He's like, just let it out, Nesto. Just let it out. And about half an hour, the pain fades.
No kidding.
And I'm like, I beat it. I beat it.
Yeah.
And so everyone leaves. I go use the bathroom, and I don't leave the bathroom. I don't leave the bathroom. So I don't want to leave the tile area just in case I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And I thank the Lord I used the bathroom. I took a number 2, and I'm glad I did. Because I'm sitting there, and I'm like, maybe I beat it. Maybe I took this milk, and I'm going to digest it into waste. And all of a sudden, I feel it come back. I run to the shower. Dude, If I had not gone to the bathroom,
Look at your face, man.
listen, I don't know how to describe what happened. Like the pressure within me, like everything, like ears popped, like eyes dripping, nose, milk coming out of my nose. I mean, everything open on every part of my body, dude.
Every
Like,
orifice is
everything. Just, I mean, a gas came out of my, like it was. If I would have messed my body up. But I mean, and the roar, like I just a scream of pain. Like people ran out of the bed. Like, what just happened? And it's just me, like, and the power it came out of me. I was like, that was awful, and I can't believe I'm alive. And after that, I was like, I'm hungry. Let's go get something to eat, because it emptied out everything inside of me. Like it just was like
You're just done.
It was
You're
like,
you know, I could go for some wings.
dude, it was like a reverse colonic, dude. It was crazy. But
That is perfect. I am titling that projectile vomiting.
So,
that is perfect.
we failed the milk, and we never went to the
Never
wings.
went to the
Like we
wings.
can't beat the milk. We can't beat the
Yeah.
wings. So that's one of the
That's
legends.
awesome. So that was part of the Moody.
Part of the college experience, dude.
So and did so that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So did you go from like 98 to 02? Was that your time frame?
I went 98 to 01 and failed out of school.
Oh, okay.
Again, it caught me. I
Yeah,
was
the
trying.
the fakiness that we were
I was
getting
trying to
into.
pretend it didn't happen.
So what happened? Like, what was the moment?
I was basically trying. I think I was trying to juggle all these balls and pretend I was strong and able and had no wounds or weaknesses or chinks in my armor.
Yeah.
And there came a point in life where, at home in my family, my little brother, I pulled out of my. We lost my little brother to the courts. We lost my brother to the courts. My
Yeah.
littlest brother. And I remember going.
So did he go to government housing? Or did he go to adoption?
Other family,
Oh, okay.
part of the family. He
That's
went
not
to,
always a bad thing, though.
it was in our situation. It
Oh,
was not
stressful.
good. It was not good what happened.
Okay.
It was like truancy. Couldn't get. It was all the stuff that happened.
Trying to find the positive in that
Yeah.
that shade, bro.
I remember going there, and my mom, who was strong my whole life, it broke her.
yeah.
It wrecked my brother. And I remember I had for a while, for the last 5-6 years, with Christ, I'm like, I can do all things through Christ. And I thought I could take the world and bend it to my will.
Yeah.
I now know enough people, I have enough connections, I have enough money, I can make things happen. For this, I could do nothing. And I learned again that I'm still powerless.
Yeah.
And the thing I'm running from, this family thing that's not like none of my friends in college or church ever met my family.
Right.
I kept that in it's hidden.
Right.
This is my secret life, and this is my church life, and those two
Yeah.
things didn't hang out together.
Yeah, like for me, just quick input was my family was the first one to get divorced. And so I actually had a church person go, because you're a black seed. I was like, wow, I didn't know that.
It's brutal,
Right. And I was just like, wow, well, if that's the answer, then let's get simple quickly, And so to continue on with your story, but I'm feeling what you're putting down there. So, because you're going to be embarrassed by where you came from. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just said it didn't exist.
Yeah, they're invisible. They're
Yeah.
there, but they're invisible. Yeah,
I came
hear.
home from that when the cops came and took him. I
Man.
came home from that. I
So
remember
you heard and just left?
I came home because I knew it was the day. I came home to Waterford because I knew they were coming to get him, and I was there with my mom when he was taken.
Yeah.
And I remember going back to Chicago on the train. And
Yeah.
on the way home from the train station, I'm just shell shocked.
Yeah.
My mom's smoked. My brother's gone.
Yeah.
I just don't know what to do. I got this big old a milk duffel bag. I'm walking through the city. I walk home. No cab. I'm just going to walk home through the city.
Yeah.
And two guys tried to mug me.
Of course they did.
And when I remember I was waiting at a light, and I shouldn't have waited because there's no one around. I could just cross and said, "Don't walk." And there's a guy over there. I'm going to walk by. I look behind me. There's a guy on the wall leaning on this building.
Yeah.
And this guy is like, "Hey," and I was like, "Okay, they're going to mug me."
Yeah.
And the thought I had was not fear. It was not. It was like, "Thank you, God, for this." 'Cause I'm
Really?
going to kill these guys.
Oh, you're going to unload all that rage.
All
on these
that.
two
I mean,
guys. I feel that at a visceral
Dude.
level, bro.
that was a very violent night.
Yeah.
I got no trouble because it was 2 against 1 trying to mug me.
Yeah.
But the
But you let it happen, so you
I
could
was
do that.
it wasn't out of it was joy filled.
Yeah.
It was
I needed to punish somebody.
I needed to
for
do
what I
something
was
with this
going
feeling.
through.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember going home to the school, and I remember
Wow.
telling God, I'm like, God, I don't know why this happened. I don't know what to do. I'm like, but I just don't want to talk to you for a while. And I literally I'm a dramatic person. I went and got under my bed, and I didn't come out for like 2 weeks. I gave up. I didn't go to class. I lost my job. I was a youth pastor. I lost a church. I mean, I just gave up on life.
Wow.
Like all of my life came just like it was like, it's all true. Like this is my life.
Yeah.
You can't just pretend it didn't happen. This stuff happened, and you got to accept it and admit it.
Yeah.
You know, to be a person, you have to face where you came from.
Yeah.
And I ended up failing out of school. I ran to Texas, lived down there for like a year, lived in a trailer with no power, no AC, no water on my grandma's property down there. And I just ran from God and from my family. I just went and lived in the Wild West.
Because you felt like a failure? Because you felt like
failure.
But why was their failure your failure?
Well,
I don't just because it was your mom and your brother? Or, like you weren't even there.
Okay,
Struggling with that.
It wasn't a failure that I gave up because I didn't know what to do with that kind of hurt.
Oh.
Like all this hurt I've been ignoring.
All right.
Finally crested. And I'm like, I don't know how to feel this. I'm just going to shut down. I'm just going to cease to be a
We're
person.
just going to tell those feelings you don't exist now.
I'm going to go to sleep and not wake up.
Wow.
And people would come and bring me, like my roommate would come and bring me like food and stuff. And I'd come out of their shower once in a while and go back to sleep. I failed every class that semester, failed every class, lost a job. My life detonated.
Dude, this is a perfect stop point. We're going to take a quick break because we got to find the comeback to this. And when we come back, we're going to be hanging out for the final session with Ernesto from Flint City Church. If you haven't checked out his website, go to flintcitychurch.com. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe on Spiritual Warfare Unit. We'll see you on the flip side.
So people that are talking about breaking the rules use their fingers to speak to each other. And that's what gangs do to communicate from point A to point B. It's almost like this has been in the Bible for 2,000 years. And people feel like it's a new thing. That is unbelievable, isn't it? That things that are happening in your life today are in here from 2,000 years ago. That's very weird.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, welcome back to our last session. So we're going to finish up here with Ernesto and see what he's doing at Flint City Church. And you were just telling us about how your life had just exploded and trying to deal with the emotional damage of your family and situation and coming to grips with who you were, right?
Right.
All right. So you left for a year, you went to Texas, and then what happened?
I blew my knee out working a job down there in Texas. And I remember laying there with my knee, just ACL's gone.
What was the job?
I work in Church of Chicken, dude. Working at just lame-o.
And you blew out your knee?
I was in the
slip on the
cooler.
grease?
I was in a cooler. It was all like water, like was melted,
I got you.
and ice cubes from the chicken.
Yeah.
And I stepped on an ice cube and slipped and just gone. Nice. I fell down. Chicken poured all over me, and I'm laying there in water with covered in raw chicken and ice.
All right. So your knee's blown, ACL.
I'm laying there, and I was like, "All right, God, what do you want?" Like I've been running for a year.
Yeah, and you knew it.
I knew it. And I was just like, God, what? And it was quiet. And I remember I just closed my eyes, like, okay, God, I'll go home. And I just started crying. Like I was there crying, like, not weeping, just like a tear, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'll go home. And someone came in, helped me. You got all out, and I called my mom, like, Ma, can I come home? She said, come home. I came home, had surgery, and for the next year, it was just rehabilitation on the knee.
Yeah.
It was going to church again, but I was really, I hated everyone at church.
Yeah.
I'm like, I thought like I was mad at them because I felt like they told me to be fake, and they didn't.
Yeah.
I maybe they did. I don't know, but I took that from them.
Like, here's what I think. You tell me if this hits. So they're trying to do the right thing.
Yes.
And they do the fake it till you make it. And then you learn that without realizing that you're learning it, but it's the do. It's the don't be a hero but a doer part, and you're missing the do part. Is that right?
Big time, man.
Okay.
So I and over that time, I'm healing. I'm getting my leg back.
Yeah.
When I first had surgery, I was laying in bed and I read C.S. Lewis's Chronicles of Narnia.
Yeah.
And one of I think the fifth book, Silver Chair, there's a scene where the son and his father reunited when the dad's old and dying.
Yeah.
But they reunite, and there's this beautiful moment. It's a picture of like God and his, his people.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember reading that. I started weeping in my bed. And that's when God broke it back open. Okay, God, I'm yours.
Yeah.
Went back to college, finished college, married Angie, started serving in ministry, and I've been walking ever since.
And how old are you when that happened, that moment?
21, 22?
All right, so, and from 21 to 22, and you're how old now?
41.
41. Okay, so you decided, I have to come to grips with who I am. I can't do this halfway.
No. And I very much have embraced, I embraced my family. I started making my college friends, my brothers, my mom. I'm like, this is me.
Yeah.
And if you want to know me, this is my mom, whom I love.
Yeah.
And my brothers who are awesome.
Yeah.
I stopped pretending that I wasn't a Flintstone.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a little ghetto, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. And it was freeing to just stop pretending I was someone else.
Yeah.
It was great, man.
Like when I got to that point, it was the who do I want to be decision. And I'm like, I want to be that guy for real. Like, what does that mean? And the strength of character required to try to want to be the guy that does the right thing because that gives God glory. Not because people look at you, but because that gives God glory. Like, that's super hard, right? And you screw up so much. And it's just like to get to that point. And so that drove you into Flint City Church. That drove, because you were a part of a really big church organization.
Oh man, I was pastoring a church of 1,000 people, man,
Right.
making sweet money.
Yeah. You were doing that thing. And then when you got asked, you're like, I got to do this. Is that because this is just where God put your heart, right?
Dude, like when that all ended, my wife and I left there because the guy was in a different direction than we were going.
Yeah.
And we thought about planning a church in maybe like Kalamazoo.
Yeah.
Because again, I'm like, I'd only done ministry in a suburban way.
Yeah.
And school teaches us to do church in a suburban way.
Yeah.
And my wife and I we went to Lapeer, and then we were driving by Flint, and my wife's like, why not going to Flint? I'm like, babe, you don't know Flint. My wife's from the thumb of Michigan.
Yeah.
Dude.
Help me help you right now.
So I take her to, I'm like, you want to see what's
Yeah.
I take her into Flint.
Yeah.
I hadn't been back there since I was freaking 14 years old. So I'm like 30. So we go back and I show her, look at that house, burned down.
Yeah.
That's my old school, burned down. This is my old school. It's closed. Like here's my city.
Yeah. With all its glory.
We drive for a whole day in the city, driving around, walking around. And by the time we leave, my wife's like, this is where God wants us to be. I'm like,
Wow.
And I'm like, I feel it too. Like we went all these places. In Kalamazoo, we had like 4 families going to be the core of the new church.
Yeah.
We had to tell them, this is not what we're called. God wants us in Flint. And we moved back right before the water crisis.
Yeah.
And some people don't like it up here. Some people we have one thing about ministry in the city of Flint is, let's say you help someone maybe get clean and get a job and get some stability.
Yep.
One of the first things they do is they leave the city.
Yep.
Because people are like, I gotta get out.
Yeah.
I was subbing at Southwestern, and I told the kids, I grew up here, I left, and I came back. And some kid raised his hand. I'm like, what's up? He goes, if you made it out, why'd you come back? Because that's in Flint. The goal is, you get the crap out of here.
Like I made it. I tell people I made it all the way to Rochester. I made it all the way. I had a condo and a Cadillac. Like I was there. What'd you come back for? And I'm like, man, my family. That was the real reason that I come back. And it was like, if you'd have told me, dude,
Never.
Isaac, you're going to be doing jail ministry, you're going to love it. I'm like, here's $100 for being crazy. No, we're all stocked up here.
Right.
Go sell that to somebody else. And yet, here we sit. And honestly, if it wasn't for COVID, I wouldn't have realized how many people are trying to help down here. Like if when I tell people there's 100 nonprofits within a 8-mile area, they're like, Isaac, come on. And I'm like, I didn't know either. There's a lot of people that care about this city. And the problem is everybody's so busy doing their kingdom, they don't have time to communicate. And I'm like, dude, I can do that part. Because I loved working with all those people during COVID. I mean, we all made that decision. We could die because we didn't know what it was at the time, right?
Right.
And do we still want to help people? And there was a big group of us like, yeah, let's if you're going to die for something, this is it. And so we went and we helped our people and all the hugs and the fights and the crying and it was awesome. And my thought was, how do I help these people help people? Like, how do I do that? And that's what this came up here, right? And so it's funny how similar your background and my background was, and that fear of going, dude, I gotta find a way to beat the bully, and then you become that guy, and then and then how all that works. That is unbelievable story. This is why I had you on. This is such a great story. So what is like Flint City Church doing now? Like, what do you guys got going on in the community?
So for us, COVID, it was just a help our people not die.
Right.
Because at first,
and that's a real deal.
The first week after COVID, 80% of our church was unemployed. Right. Before the stimulus, it was like, we're going to need food. It was, and everything closed. You remember?
I remember they were taking about the hotel to put people up.
It was nuts, dude.
It was nuts.
I mean, every food bank we had closed in the city. It was nuts. It was hard. It was real hard. And I'm grateful for Sheriff Swanson, and I'm grateful for what happened with the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. It was incredible. Yep. But so that for a year and a half, it was just helping our people for a year survive. Then we realized people are emotionally smoked. Right. They're scared. The news has everyone amped up. Yep. And it's just, everyone's just scared. And also they've been alone. Yeah. And if you had maybe a family, it's easier. But if you were a single person, it was a lonely time. Right. To COVID. Like, no one's hanging out. There's no Thanksgiving dinners, dude. Yeah.
There's no go hang out and we're gonna have a steak and talk thing.
People were cut off. Yeah. Dude, we lost so many addicts. Yeah. ODs was bad. There's people that died during COVID. We had no funerals for them. I forget they're gone. Yeah. I forget they're dead because I didn't go to their casket and cry a tear for my brother.
Because there's no one there to do that. Isn't that crazy?
It was awful, dude. Yeah. And so coming out of COVID, I'm like, we're coming out of this. We have to meet this. We have to engage the city again. Yeah. So for us, we're over on the west side of the city, our churches, and so we're beginning to engage the neighborhood and just meet the neighbors, having outdoor services. We're going to do a VBS this summer, just little things like that, trying to engage the city once again, because people are not in Flint. No one's just going to come to church because they're bored. You got to go to where people are at and meet them.
Like one of the things I'm trying to talk our guys into doing is doing a euchre tournament.
I love it.
Right? Just community outreach euchre tournament, right? Because why not? It's cheap, it's inexpensive, you can get cheap prizes and allows you to meet people, and everybody in Michigan knows how to play that stinking game. You know what I'm saying?
Me and some of the guys do. We'll have poker like once a quarter.
Shut your mouth.
And then invite your friends that aren't Christians. And people come and we just play cards.
Dude, I tell you what. You tell me when that is. We'll put it on our calendar. If you're watching this, we'll put it up.
Dude, I had guys come and say, man, there's no alcohol. No one's cussing. You just laugh and play cards.
You're just having a good time.
We're just having it. Yeah. You can have a good time without being drunk or violent.
Okay, so are you a chess guy?
Of course.
All right, I'm a high level nerd. I enjoy my chess.
It's the purest game ever made.
Man, I'm telling you, and it's one of those things. It's a Flint thing. And if you depending on where your college was. It could be downtown or uptown. Depends where that college was. Depends on the chess player that you are. I love me some chess. I sat down there. You guys probably, if you're not from Flint, you don't know this. But I was just talking to one of the guys. He's got a pawn shop out on the corner, Music Man.
Okay, yeah.
And he's like, dude, you want to play? And I'm like, absolutely.
Is he good?
I mean, he's working on it.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? So we threw down some games, and people are like, you would do that? And I'm like, I don't know how to explain this to other people. But just it's just relaxing, and it's just one of those things that it's one of those universals that allows you to pass from one side of the city to the other side, and everybody knows, oh, that's a chess guy, right? Yep. And it's a safety net. It's a safety net for you to be able to go. So, as far as community events and things that you have going on, is there anything that like drug rehabilitation courses or programs or missionary outreach or anything that you have that you want people to know about?
Right now, Flint City, one of our major things we do. We had more going on before COVID, but one thing we've been doing as a church is we've been trying to come alongside of a lot of them, like Carriage Town. Yeah. We give them people, we give them money, say do good work. Reaching the Forgotten Man Ministries over the jail. I'm like, we're going to come alongside you. We're going to support you. We send chaplains in to serve. And so we love to serve alongside people that are already doing great work.
I got you. So what we're doing here is we're putting together community events on our calendars. So if you guys want to go to see what's going on in the community, so you can donate time or whatever functions you want to do, and we will happily do that. That'll be all free. Come and speak at your church. Do that absolutely for free. Website, podcast going up for free. We're gonna help all your people do all that. We're gonna do all that for free, and I want to help you do what you're doing now. One of the things that we didn't get a chance to talk about, and we're not leaving until we talk about this, is during the summertime, you like to preach with no shoes on. Please tell people why. Because the first time, I got to be honest, you had on these like white pants, right? And I was like, dang. All right, I got to figure out what that is. So you got to tell everybody.
Listen, I
asked.
I don't like wearing shoes. I just like feet are meant to be
walked
free.
upon.
And so I wear sandals when it gets warm. My sandals go on.
On your little bike.
And oftentimes I'll just take them off and I'll just keep on walking around without them. And I often will preach with just barefoot just because I just love it. I love I just feel comfortable.
You know what, the first time when I asked that, someone told me?
What?
Oh, he does that so he can be closer to God.
Man.
I was like, really? He takes his shoes off. So you can be close. I was like,
oh man!
I was like, what is bull crap for 200, Alex? I was like, I know that one, and I had to. That's why I had to ask you. There was all these people, and it was funny how they like twisted that thing to be what they wanted it to be.
Listen, there are a lot of things I do in my life that aren't spiritual. Okay, and that's one of them. It's just something I really love. I love going to my backyard in the grass and just sitting with my. A beach, no shoes. It's great, man.
Yeah. And see, me, I'm the exact opposite. Because when I was a kid, I grew up in Flint. I was on the grass, and I had a green broken beer bottle go up into my foot when we were playing. And I'm like, socks and shoes. If I can have steel toes, I'm doing all that. Like in
the winter, I'm wearing boots because I've learned to carry your feet.
Yeah, like cold. I got the Timbs on for sure. And
but in the summer, you'll see. I walk my dog barefoot.
I know. I see it downtown, man. You know,
I love it, dude.
We were hanging out there. So, all right. So, if you have not gone to flintcitychurch.com and checked out what Ernesto's doing, and if people are interested in, because you guys are really like missionary oriented, right?
We are for Jesus, for Flint, and for the kingdom. When we say we're for Flint, we love our city.
Yeah.
In order to be part of our church. In order to be a member of the church, you either have to live in the city, work in the city, or play in the city. We don't want people from suburbs just coming, hanging out here.
Wait for the pictures, get to leave, because that's something else. If you don't mind, like one of the things as people as a Flintstone is when you come in there and people are like, oh, we're doing this dinner, and they got their pictures, and then they leave. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you get a chance to see something, and then people realize you're just using them for the pictures, and they're like, well, where's my stuff? And then you get that fake response to that fake thing. And it's like, dude, you got to calm down. That's why you guys do what you do, right? So
I live here. I shop here. I play here.
Because they don't mean to do that, like we were talking before.
Agreed. It's not. It's people are, we did a door-to-door survey a few years back. And the answers we heard from people were forgotten, abandoned. People here feel like they've just been, no one cares.
Right.
And so I've learned, if you want to make a difference in a city like this, you got to be here for the long haul.
Right.
And so people are like, you're not just full of hot air. You're here. You ain't going nowhere. And they can trust you.
Yep. You cannot do show and go because that's just not going to work. Man, Ernesto, I am so happy I had you on here, man. I just love everything you're doing. I relate to how you're going. So that kind of makes me prejudiced in your corner. But like as a poor kid to a poor kid, like I'm so happy that you come on. I'm really glad you came. Thank you for coming out.
Oh, bro, it was my honor. It was my pleasure, man.
So if you haven't gone and checked out flintcitychurch.com, please check out what they're doing. If you were struggling with anything, go check out spiritualwarfareunit.com. Click on the 3 lines. You'll see our Proverbs program there. But you click on the 3 lines, hit struggling, and you go down there and you will find all kinds of nonprofits to help you out. If you're going to YouTube, please check out Spiritual Warfare Unit, like, share, and subscribe, or you can check us out on Comcast, Channel 17 from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., and we hit our podcast there. You guys have a great afternoon. Thanks for stopping out. Do you have a nonprofit in your area that's doing a lot of work that people should know about? Feel free to contact Spiritual Warfare Unit at 810-715-9319, and we would love to have them on to see what good they're doing in the community and find out their story. Thank you so much.